One, two, three, four! Greetings, this is Tom with BuncombeShinola. As many friends of the channel are probably already aware, LINDELL Tiger Tate's battle with cancer came to an end on July 23rd. The planned event, which we had for the HICKOIDS CornPound on the 30th, which was going to exhibit his Ramones and Runaways photographs, was turned into a makeshift memorial. We had sort of hoped that the exhibit would be probably his final public appearance, but his last couple weeks accelerated unexpectedly, and it just wasn't in the cards. But it was still a very cool event. Many old friends came out. We showed more than just the Ramones and Runaways. We still had a bunch of his other photographs, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and more. Also did a concurrent fundraiser for high voltage music in San Antonio. Still had a little VHS swap with our friends Righteous Retro. I even played a set on drums with the Cabrones, a Ramones tribute band. But the focus of the afternoon was, of course, just to memorialize and pay tribute to our friend LINDELL Tate, an extremely wild personality, underappreciated talent, but you know, he was born in 1958. His photographs covering mostly San Antonio and Austin between 1974 and 1979 are an undiscovered treasure, which we will continue to work on archiving and digitizing and restoring. But he simply had other life disciplines that he was expert in over his years. For instance, he owned a saltwater aquarium shop. He, for years, sold rare seedlings and online plumerias and such. And he was even a technician at Pearl Brewery in San Antonio. I was as surprised as anybody to find out that they have people working to make it taste like that. I've met Tiger bouncing around Tumblr back in the day, MySpace and that kind of thing, and there were certain unusual photos you'd see pop up a lot, and often, of course, they aren't credited, but I finally noticed that LINDELL Tate was the name on some of them. I sort of finally grogged that some of them were in Texas, and I finally stalked him a bit and found out he was in Texas, and I approached him and became friends, and eventually the subject of doing some serious work on his photographs eventually presented itself, perhaps grudgingly on his part, and we began work. Especially once he got his cancer diagnosis, we were working as quickly as we could to get what we felt his most important and best work out there a little bit more while he was alive. Led Zeppelin, certainly some of his best photographs, and he was at the famous Sex Pistols show in San Antonio. Of course, the Ramones are my favorite band, so I was very interested in his huge cache of photos he had taken of that band over the years. First off, with the help of my compadre Steve Sweat, got to work on filming video interviews where he reminisced over albums of his work, talking about the shows he had experienced and the adventures he'd seen. And with the help of my San Antonio photographer friend Anthony Garcia, we got to work on rescanning and doing some repair work on the media. There was so many negatives, but there's also slides. Some of them we only have prints, so that presents a little bit of extra work as well. As Tiger's health began to decline a bit, I remember first time I brought him the first batch of Sex Pistols and then Led Zeppelin, and I guess the best validation we could get for our efforts was that he looked down at this one particular picture of Robert Plant and just looked up at me, kind of choked, and said, "I just wish we'd started sooner." And I wish we'd started sooner too, but we did as right by Tiger as we could with the time we had, and as we move on forward, we're going to keep on scanning more of his work and digitizing and making it available. And we still have quite a backlog of interviews on video that we will continue to create clips for YouTube. Definitely there will be one about the Rolling Stones. We have more coming up about the Ramones and other acts as well. And if you have any interest in acquiring any of his work, I will put links in the description below where you can reach our social media. And there's also t-shirts by my buddy Adam that we made to commemorate the memorial event, and those are available as well. I just want to thank everyone that's been watching, and all of his old friends have made some pretty cool comments and told me a bunch of cool things I didn't know about him. And every time I show his work, a few people walk up really surprised, especially if we're in Texas. And as we continue our efforts, there'll be an ever-growing audience of people to be interested in his photography. I guess I wanted to point out that he not only took photographs of concerts, he also has great nature photography. There's even quite a number of photographs of him at events with politicians and astronauts and the such. So the man was always full of surprises, and as we go about unearthing and digging through his belongings, I'm sure we're going to find even more that we don't know about yet. And thanks for everyone's continuing interest, and thanks for everyone who's watched up till now and participated. You can always reach me, Tom, on my channel here, or also on Tiger's social media. Thanks again, and talk to you all soon. Adios, and cheers to you, Tiger. Best wishes, Casey.